Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, 7/12. Hope everyone went out yesterday and got a free Slurpee from 7-Eleven. I didn't. But this morning was another good morning. I did another 3-mile run finished almost under a minute faster than I did yesterday, and managed to knock out my push-ups for the day. I did take the lunchtime. I usually work out during lunch between 12 and 1, and I usually do a number of workouts, and yesterday I kind of took a break from it because I put in so many workouts into yesterday morning that I just felt that I was okay skipping during that lunch yesterday to kind of recuperate. But today I think I might try to run again, because I did set up, as passionate and as much as I love the outdoors and how much I'm drawn to it, I have not been able to get out this year. As sad as that is, I just haven't, there's no excuse. I just haven't, obligated the time to getting out there and getting in some hikes. And all it takes really is just, if I put in the time, I can still get up early and hit a trail locally and get home. By the time, we start the day heading out to go towards, going out grocery shopping or something, I could wake up at 3, go out and do a local hike somewhere off of I-90 in Snoqualmie, North Bend area, do a hike and get it done and get home by the time my daughter goes down for her nap, and be there fresh and ready to go by the time she gets up and we start doing our errands for the day. I could do all that. I just haven't done it. And so I feel bad that I haven't. So I did. Spoke to a few guys going to do Mailbox Peak on Saturday morning, and shooting for Mount Eleanor up on the peninsula outside Lake Cushman in the Olympic National Forest in a couple of weeks. So those ones are they're not the longest hikes, but they're more of a vertical challenge. Mailbox Peak is pretty brutal if you do the old trail. I know that they have a new trail that they just completed a few years ago. I haven't done it yet. In fact, I haven't been on Mailbox Peak in 3 years. But it was a tough one for sure. And I remember the first time I did it, I was just, because it's tough. If you haven't done Mailbox Peak before, basically it's a lot of elevation gain in a short amount of distance. So you're climbing pretty much the whole time, but it's so short, by the time you get there, you realize it wasn't that long. But when you get to the top, you got a great view. They have a mailbox up there, and ever since the last time that I did it, it was just a freestanding mailbox with a standard 4x4, but now they have it cemented down, and it has a sign on it. I haven't seen what the sign says, but it's become quite popular because more people are doing it now, because there's an easier trail, more switchbacks. But I stick to the old trail, and the old trail is, like I said, it's pretty, you get a lot of roots. There's a lot of, it's pretty vertical, and you get to the top. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is getting back down, and you have to really watch your footing. A lot of people get hurt on that trail. It even says, if I remember correctly, I think there's a sign that says many people are, picked up by EMTs, search and rescue, and things like that for, misjudging, their abilities and falling down and hurting themselves. And so, it is tough. Coming down, you're having to, I've had to catch myself on a branch or a tree, my momentum was carrying me so far down and so quickly that I had to grab a tree and slow myself down, or I would have fallen down. And I've actually bit it a few times, just like slipping and falling and things like that, but it wasn't too bad. But it's a pretty rough trail. It's more than anything, it's more of a conditioning training hike. It's not necessarily doing that to get out and get some views and enjoy the solitude of nature, because that's not what it is. Any hike that's on I-90 is pretty much not going to be solitude. You have to go out of along shorter drives from Seattle, because those are the drives that the hikes that a lot of people do because of this close proximity to Seattle and the higher, living areas. So if you can find a trail that's closer, or further out, you get less people on it. The further out you go, the less people are in it. So you have to find trails like that for the solitude. So for this, it'd be more of a training thing. And I asked, I have my 2 other times that I did the whole trail, and so I would like to shoot for beating that. And so that'll be Saturday. And I'm really excited because, like I said, I haven't done a hike this year and I haven't made time for it, but I'm pushing myself to do it, just to get it done. And I just have missed the outdoors so much. So other than that, though, I wanted to start off with a little piece that I've been working on, or at least in the back, in my mind, about how, for those of you who don't know me, roughly around 4 to 5 years ago, I went into the doctor, just for my annual checkup, and we go through the whole introductory phase where they take your shoes off, you hop on the scale, you sit down, and they take your temperature and all, basically the vitals. And he comes in and he looks at me and he says, "You know what? How old are you?" And I said, told him my age and told him. He looked at my height and he says, "You're anybody in your family ever have diabetes?" And I said, "Well, I think I had older, my grandfather had it later in life, but it was just because of poor diet and health." And so he's like, "Well, I was on the borderline becoming diabetic, just because, I'm not the tallest guy in the world, and I was packing a lot of weight onto my small frame. And if you can tell that I'm not scrawny, I lift, I work out all the time, and so a lot of my weight is muscle, and I'm thick. But back then I wasn't thick, I was big. I had a lot of extra weight on me, and he sat me down. He says, "I'm going to start testing you for diabetes." That scared the crap out of me, and so I just made a decision to start working out and taking my diet seriously. And like today, I just weighed myself the other day, and I'm down to about, I've been fluctuating between 192 and about 198. So my weight's been fluctuating between 192 and 198. And I was about 198 and a half. That was yesterday. So today I could pretty much guarantee you I'm going to be a lot lower than that, because I did another run this morning and I tend to sweat a lot when I run. So there's probably a lot of water weight. And I've been getting my cardio back in line because I was sidelined for almost a month because of my ankle. All I could do was lift, and I couldn't really do cardio. So now that I can get cardio back in, my weight should start plummeting again and dipping. I want to get into the 180s. That's my goal right now. But the one thing that I did, I'm going to do the step-by-step process and how I started losing weight. And the biggest thing that I decided to do, the first thing was, other than the obvious, the easiest thing you could do is quit drinking sodas, or drinking things that you can't see through. Do not put on that list vodka, because that's obviously not. Honestly, it's a healthier caloric choice than beer, but just stick to water, lemon water, something like that, and quit drinking things that you can't necessarily see through. So nothing. If you're drinking soda, is a good way to come off of that. A lot of CrossFit people do this, is drinking LaCroix, and it's sort of like a fizzy, I don't know what you call it, carbonated water that's slightly flavored. So there's a little bit of, you sort of get a soda feel to it if you're trying to quit drinking soda, but it's a healthier alternative. But I just cut it off completely. I got one of these RAI bottles, and I just fill it up throughout the day, drink nothing but water. That's all I drink. I do have days where I get a Monster in here and there, but I don't do that as often as I used to. But I just stick to drinking water. Just drink water as often as you can, as much as you can, and you will start seeing improvements in your weight and the way that you retain water. Your sodium levels will drop, and it's one of the biggest contributors to high diabetic risk. And so cutting that out completely, even if it's diet soda, it still has aspartame in it and it's not good for you. So I would cut out all sodas. So that was the first thing that I did that I would suggest is lose things. Don't buy anything in your fridge that you can't see through. The only thing you should be drinking is water. If you have a habit of going home and having a beer or two at night, cut that in half, and you might want to completely get rid of that altogether. But getting rid of anything that basically it adds empty calories into your diet. So if you're eating, as much as you normally do, and you're adding on top of that some, empty calories in a beverage, quit doing that. Even coffee, so you go to Starbucks, a healthy alternative for that is the Americano. And all Americano is just, coffee shots of water. And don't put anything more than maybe a sugar packet in there and a little bit of cream. And, that's still more than you should be drinking, but it's much better than drinking a Frappuccino or a Mochaccino or any of those other fancier drinks that you just drink every single day. Those things add up, trust me. Those calories will sneak up on you. And so that's it right there. Start drinking water. Just drink your water as much as you can. If you weigh 200 pounds, you're drinking 100 ounces of water. If you're 300 pounds, you're drinking 150 ounces of water. And if you're 120, you're drinking 60 to 75. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Cut out sodas. Cut out anything that's, you can't necessarily see through. And quit drinking empty calories. That's the first step. So anyway, it's been a good day. Looking forward to tomorrow. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching.